Hello and welcome to a new reading vlog, hopefully. Over the summer, I started so many vlogs that never saw the light of day, and that's okay. I was enjoying my casual, low-key summer, but I do want to try vlogging again. I really do want to get better at it. So I think what I'm going to try this time is doing like 2-week vlogs. I don't feel like I ever have enough in a week because I'm very much a homebody and I don't do that much. I even work from home. So I just feel like there's never enough content in a week. But maybe if we do 2 weeks at a time, I don't know. We'll see how it goes. I'll just go until I feel like I have enough content, and then you'll get a vlog. So let's talk about September. It is September 1st. It is my first day kind of back at work. If you're new here or don't remember, I teach piano lessons. So basically I haven't been teaching many lessons. I've had a few students over the summer. But for the most part, everyone kind of left after spring break, so the last week of March. And then very few came back after that with everything that was going on. So I pretty much had like a 5-month vacation, which is great, but it makes going back to work harder. So today I am starting up students again. It'll kind of gradually increase over the next couple weeks, but today's the first day of lessons. So that's happening, and then reading is happening. It is the first day of the Fall Into Reading Challenge, which is a challenge hosted by Tia and All the Books, Rainy Day Reads, Literary Labors, and Cozy Reader Kelly. I'll link all that info below, but basically it's just several prompts to get you reading a wide variety of books over the next 3 months. So I'm going to be participating in that. I'm doing the 24 prompt board, and my goal is to not have any overlap, to have one unique book for each of those prompts, but we'll see how that goes. You can double up. I'm just going to challenge myself not to. So yeah, let's talk about what I will be reading starting today. So my main read is going to be Bitter Greens by Kate Forsyth. Kate Forsyth is an author that I've wanted to read for a long time. She's actually on my list of 2020 authors to read, and I just haven't picked her up yet, so I'm going to be reading this. This is what I'm counting for the prompt of leaves on the cover, and this is a historical fiction fairy tale-esque retelling. I think it's a Rapunzel retelling in like a historical setting, maybe a dual timeline, kind of gothic. I don't really know. I'll find out and let you know, but I'm going to for sure be picking this one up today. Also happening in October is Shaketube, and to my shame, I have never actually read a Shakespeare play. So I'm determined that that is going to change here this week. So I picked up Romeo and Juliet on the recommendation of Rainy from Rainy Day Reads. She is one of the hosts. I'll link all the hosts below. But she is doing this one. This is one of the ones she's going to be focusing on. And she recommended this as a good starting point, which I agree with because I do already know the story. I know the general gist of it. So yeah, that's going to be happening. Maybe not today, but this week. So yeah, if I'm feeling really brave, I may pick up a second Shakespeare this month, but we'll see how Romeo and Juliet goes. And then the other thing I do want to mention, this isn't going to be like heavily featured in vlogs probably, but that is the Complete Journals of Ellen Montgomery. It says Complete Journals. This is volume 1 of 5, I think. So it's only the first volume. I started this back in January, and I just haven't prioritized it. I read, let's see, I'm on like page 130, and I haven't touched it at all this summer. So I want to prioritize this because I would really like to finish it this month. Krista over at Books and Jams is doing Kindred Spirit September, so Ellen Montgomery books or books about her. So I'm not really participating, but I'm reading this, so I kind of am participating. But I would really like to prioritize this, so I just need to make sure I'm reading a little bit of it every day, and I should be able to finish it this month. So that's what's going on right now. I'm going to show you, I'm doing something a little bit different with my TBR right now. I haven't been doing TBRs, which is working great. But then I also get overwhelmed really easily because I've got 200 plus books on my TBR shelf, my physical TBR shelf. Plus I keep getting books from the library because I have a problem. So what I'm doing is keeping a tote, a little plastic tote, that holds, I don't know, 15, 20 books. And I'm kind of keeping that as my TBR tote. So instead of having to choose from 200 books when I need a new book, I just have a few to choose from. And then I'm constantly rotating those. So as, I read 3 or 4, then I'll add 3 or 4 new ones. So when there's space, I'll add a few more in. So it's kind of constantly rotating through things. So I'm going to show you real quick what's in the tote right now, but just, you know, an overview. Any library books I have go in there because I have to get those back. There's a lot of, I had goals at the beginning of the year of 20 books and 20 authors that I wanted to read in 2020, and I'm doing really, really badly at that. I'll link that playlist up above and down below in case you want to check that out. But basically I haven't done a goals update because I'm not doing well. So I am going to try and prioritize those things. So there's several of those in there. Some rereads I want to get to, and just, you know, whatever else I feel like putting in there. So I'm going to flip you around and show you what's in the TBR tote, because those are things that will probably be coming up in the next couple weeks. Okay, so this is my TBR tote. I'm just going to show you real quick what's in here. I know you can't see super well. But first up, there's some library books. This is Used and Rare, Travels in the Book World, which is a nonfiction. I've got This Is How You Lose the Time War, which is science fiction. Bellwether Rhapsody, I'm not 100% sure what this is. I think it's a contemporary, I think it's a YA, maybe. I'm not sure, but it has to do with music. Firefly, Big Damn Hero. You can't see this at all, can you? I'm a big fan of the show Firefly. And I just recently found out there's a book series that's kind of a spinoff, so I thought I would give the first one a try and see if it was good. Then I've got Pirate King, which is part of a mystery series that I'm working my way through. Kindred by Octavia Butler. This is a group read for September for the Fall Into Reading Challenge, so I'll be picking that up in a couple weeks. Brave New World by Aldous Huxley. This is one of my 2020 TBR books. Artemis Fowl. This is book 4 in the Artemis Fowl series, The Opal Deception. Again, just another series that I am working my way through. I have Elizabeth Chadwick, The Summer Queen, which is historical fiction, and Elizabeth Chadwick was one of the authors I wanted to get to this year. And then Peace Like a River is another of my 2020 TBR books. And then over here on the edge, I've got Arcanum Unbounded by Brandon Sanderson. This is a set of short stories that are set in the Cosmere, and it has Edge Dancer in it, which is what you're supposed to read between Words of Radiance and Oathbringer. So I want to get to this book before I go on to Oathbringer. And then I also have Christie by Catherine Marshall. This is a historical fiction, and this is a reread for me, but it's one that I'd like to get to soon. So yeah, that's what's in my TBR tote. So this is what I'll kind of be pulling from in the next couple weeks. I do have several library books coming in later this week, so those will go in the tote. And then I have a few books pre-ordered that are coming out throughout the fall. So whenever I get one of my pre-order books, that will probably go right in the tote as well. Or possibly just skip the tote altogether and go right into the reading stack. So yeah, that's what my potential TBR is for the next few weeks. I just wanted to pop in for a quick haul. I picked up just a couple books, a couple from the library, and then I got some book mail as well that I wanted to show you. So the two books I picked up from the library are The Switch by Beth O'Leary. This one I'll be getting to very soon. Since it's a new release, I only have it for 2 weeks and then have to return it, so I'll be getting to that possibly even this weekend. And then I also picked up Lovely War by Julie Berry. This one, I don't know when I'll get to, but hopefully before I have to return it. This one's a historical fiction, but I think it has some mythology elements to it. Sorry for the glare. Anytime I read a description of it, all I can think of is the Wonder Woman movie that came out a couple years ago, which is not a bad thing because I really enjoyed that movie. So yeah, we'll see how this one is. So those will both of those will go in the book tote. And then in the mail today, I got a new release, Majesty, which is American Royals Part 2. So this will be picked up this weekend as well. Yeah, I'm really excited to have this. So yeah, I'm not going to do a reading update right now, but sometime over the weekend I will check in with you and let you know what I've been reading and how it's been going. Okay, time for a quick reading update. I was filming, so I thought I'd do an update while I'm all set up. So let me tell you about the books I finished. I finished 2 and made progress through a 3rd. So I finished Romeo and Juliet, which I think I mentioned before is my very first Shakespeare. And I love this. I'm so I'm so sad that I've never read Shakespeare before, now that I have read it, but maybe I wouldn't have appreciated it as much if I was younger. But yeah, I just thought the language was really beautiful. This was nice because I already know the story of Romeo and Juliet, so it wasn't too hard to understand. This edition actually has little footnotes in it, which is nice for words that we don't use anymore or words that the meaning has changed a little bit. They're just kind of all put in there, which is nice. But I really enjoyed it. I'm looking forward already to reading it again because I think that I think I will get a lot more out of it on a second read through. But I'm also looking forward to picking up some other Shakespeare in the near future. So that was definitely a win. Oh, and I'm going to count this for the classics prompt on the Fall Into Reading Challenge. So that's one prompt done. And then I finished Majesty, which is the sequel to American Royals. This is a brand new release, just came out this week, or last week when you're watching this. And this I'm counting for the sequels prompt in the Fall Into Reading Challenge. I enjoyed this. This duology is, quick background if you don't know, this follows the America's royal family. So if George Washington had become king instead of president after the Revolution, it follows the current Washington family. So it's following Beatrice, who is the princess and the heir to the throne. She is the first woman who will be queen by birth, not by marriage, because the law has just been changed that it's the oldest child of the king, not the oldest son. So she will be the first queen by birth. And I won't go too much into the gist of this one since it is a sequel, and that would be spoilers for the first one. But it's just it's like a fluff series, which usually I really don't like, but for whatever reason, I just really enjoyed the storyline of the series, just the characters and the kind of the alternate history and the alternate, just little things that are different, that I found super entertaining, and I couldn't put it down. The sequel I enjoyed, probably not quite as much as the first one, but I did still really enjoy it. It doesn't go quite where I expected it to. The relationships don't go quite where I expected them to. But all in all, I thought it was very satisfying. It worked well, and I enjoyed most of the characters. I thought there was one character that didn't get kind of a fair story. Not a fair story, but I felt like she was kind of brushed over in this book instead of getting a full story, I guess. But in general, I thought this was a great sequel. I believe it's only supposed to be a duology, although I think there is openings in there if Catherine McGee ever decides to write more. I think there's space for that, but it's also a very, very satisfying conclusion. And yeah, I would recommend, if you want something just fun and light and entertaining, I would definitely recommend this duology. Then I am still working on Bitter Greens. I am 135 pages in. I'm enjoying it. It's kind of slow moving, and I'm not 100% sure how I feel about it yet. We follow, the main story is set in France, and we follow a woman who she's at court, but she's being punished basically, so she's been sent to a convent to live with nuns, and so kind of that transition from court life to the nunnery. But then you also have the story of a nun the nun is telling her the story of, basically it's a retelling of Rapunzel that's set in Italy. So you're getting kind of both those stories. And yeah, I'm enjoying it. I'm not 100% sure it's going to be something I love, but I'm not sure it's not. So we'll just keep going and see what happens. And that's what I am currently reading. So it is Tuesday the 8th. It is 8 a.m. But we have wildfires and high winds, which are blowing in lots of smoke. So this is what it looks like, and it's darker even than it's showing on screen. But yeah, it's pretty weird. So it is now Sunday the 13th. I pretty much didn't vlog this week, which is why we're doing this whole 2-week thing, because it still works. So I'm going to give you a quick update and kind of wrap up what I've read for this first couple weeks of September. So I did end up finishing Bitter Greens by Kate Forsyth. This, I had such mixed feelings about while I was reading it, but it got worse as I got towards the end. Not worse. I think, objectively, this is a good book. Let me give you a little more information. It's historical fiction, but also with a fairy tale retelling, so a Rapunzel retelling. So it's set in the late 1600s in France in the court of Louis XIV, the Sun King, and then there's also someone telling the story of Rapunzel set in 1500s in Italy. So first of all, there's multiple timelines, so if you struggle with dual timelines or you don't like them, this is definitely not the book for you, because it does get a little confusing, because it jumps, not only are there multiple timelines, but it also jumps around kind of within those timelines. Yeah, this book just went really dark, and somewhere, I can't even necessarily really define where that line is, but somewhere it crossed a line for me, and it was too much. There was too much rape, too much witchcraft elements. It just, and I've read other things, like other historical fiction that has rape scenes in it, and in some cases much more graphic rape scenes, but this one just left me feeling icky after. Like, it was just, the ick factor was too much. So, unfortunately, I don't think Kate Forsyth is not there for me. It just, yeah, it's not something, I want to like it because I think it's really well written and the story's really intriguing, but I'm not going to force myself to like something or to get used to something that leaves me feeling icky at the end. So anyway, that's my thoughts on that one. I probably will not pick up any more Kate Forsyth, unfortunately, but now I know. And then on a lighter note, I also picked up The Switch by Beth O'Leary. This, I'm sure you know about it because it's super popular right now, but this is the story of a girl and her grandmother that decide to switch lives for 2 months. So the granddaughter goes out to live in this little country village. The grandmother goes to live in London. And it's very cute. It's very charming. It's very predictable, but that's okay. I found, especially the granddaughter's story out in the village, just very sweet and very funny. There were laugh out loud moments because she's in this community of mostly old people, and they're just very funny. And yeah, I enjoyed this one so much more than I enjoyed The Flatshare, which is the other book by Beth O'Leary, which I thought was just fine. But this one I really, really enjoyed, and yeah, it hit the spot. It was good. It was sweet. It did deal with some heavier topics, which I appreciated, that it wasn't just all fluff. It deals with grief and touches a little bit on some abuse topics. I don't know. I just thought it was handled really well, with just enough of these kind of more serious topics mixed in that it didn't make the book overall too serious. And yeah, I really, really enjoyed it. So Bitter Greens, I think I already said this, is counting for my Leaves on the Cover prompt for the Fall Into Reading Challenge. The Switch, I think I was counting this one for contemporary. No, I can't remember. I'm pretty sure I was going to count this one for contemporary. But yeah, I'll put my little board up here and show you what I've read so far. So far this month I've read these 4 books, and I am currently reading these 2 books, Arcanum Unmounted by Brandon Sanderson, and just today we're starting Kindred by Octavia Butler, but I will pick up those in the next vlog. So that is it. Thank you for watching.